Good evening and welcome to the OARS D-star net. This net meets regularly on Monday night at 8 p.m. on the OARS 444.150 D-star repeater. My name is Wes and my call sign is AE0OC. While this is not an emergency net, if anyone at any time has emergency traffic, please call break. Does anyone have emergency traffic? Please call now. Well, hearing none, I will move on to announcements. I will be using NetLogger for check-ins on this net, and anyone who wishes can check in early by monitoring the OARS net there. The Ozarks Amateur Radio Society meets on the second Saturday of the month at the Happy House Restaurant in Monette. The meeting is at 7 p.m., but everyone is welcome to come at 6 p.m. to eat and enjoy some good conversation. Individuals pay for their own meal, but you do not have to eat to attend. You also do not have to be a ham to attend. Everyone is welcome, including family members and those interested in amateur radio. The next meeting at Happy House will be Saturday, March 11th. More to follow. The OARS Hamfest Committee is hard at work planning for the upcoming Hamfest. The OARS Fest will be held at the Mark in Mount Vernon on Saturday, March 25th. Doors will open to the public at 8 a.m. and will run until 1 p.m. There will be lots of prizes in the raffle, and we have some great vendors lined up, and testing for licenses will be available as well. For more details, you can find the ham flyer at our website, www.w0oar.com. And the Saturday breakfast with the OARS Club will be February will be 7:30 a.m. at Family Restaurant in Aurora. One more week in Aurora, and then in March we will move to Monette at Angus Branch. So come on out one last time to Aurora. And the OARS the OARS Club now has 3 regular nets. The D-star net on Monday at 8 on 444.150. The 2-meter net at 7 p.m. on 146.970. And the simplex net on the first Saturday of the month at 7 p.m. on 146.460. This net is now being streamed on 59 Radio YouTube channel. So if you want to see how you sound on the D-star machine, or you miss part of the net, you can go to 59radio.com for details and a link to the channel. Are there any other announcements of interest for amateur radio? Please call now. All right, well, I'm not hearing any, so let's jump right on in to our NetLogger check-ins. We only got a couple so far on there, so let's start out with KE0MAD. Sean, how have you been doing, and what do you have for the net tonight?
Hello, Wes. Everybody on the net. Not a whole lot. Went today, wife and I went to Carthage and did some flea marketing, and then I went over there. Our break between eating and going to flea markets, we went over to that Battle of Carthage, and I gave that another try and racked up 40 contacts there. So, no, 38 contacts there. So, I redeemed myself from the first time around when I only got 15. Wasn't nearly as noisy today. Yeah, it was good. I don't know, man. 20 was hot, and then all of a sudden just dropped off like a rock down a cliff. Just died out. But pretty good day. Tomorrow we're gonna go over and help KF0HOD Bob restring up his antenna, and then from there I think I'm gonna hit a string of parks on the way home. So make the most I can with my last day off of work. Other than that, nothing going on. Thanks for doing the net, Wes. This is KE0MAD.
All right, Sean. Yeah, I thought that Bob was moving, but maybe it's not for a while before he's going to be moving. But he's got a pretty place out there. He's and up on a pretty nice hill. It looks down in most all directions, I think, from where he lives. So he ought to be able to get out pretty good from where he's at.
Oh yeah, yeah. When we activated the Stockton Park, he just come blasting in on 40 meters to Marvin and I. So yeah, he's got a good spot there. All right, thanks, Wes. K0MAD.
All right, Sean. Thanks for checking in tonight. And I actually got my infed that I'll be using for Parks on the Air up and hooked up to my FTDX10 for some testing on it. And it seems to be working pretty good. I'm still going to adjust a little bit on that feed line choke to get it to where it maybe get the SWR down a little bit lower, but it's all perfectly usable with the internal antenna tuner. So that's a pretty good start. And I know the external one will do better than that. So 73 Sean, and let's move down to K0SQS. Harold, how have you been doing?
K0OC and the rest of the net, K0SQS, doing just fine, Wes. Thanks for running the net tonight. Sorry I missed the breakfast last Saturday, but the wife and I had gone to Dallas to watch our granddaughter perform in a performance of Chicago at her high school. She's a sophomore this year. Anyway, it turned out to be quite a deal. Almost 2 hours long. We watched 2 nights of it. The third, I excused myself and said we had to get back to Monette. Anyway, looking forward to coming to breakfast this next Saturday. And other than that, I really can't think of anything I've got going on. So back to you, Wes. K0SQS.
Well, Harold, I didn't even miss you at breakfast last Saturday because I didn't show up either. So, but I am planning to try and make it out this last Saturday. It's in Aurora, and be here before we move on to Monette. And I'm certainly looking forward to Monette. I want to try that Angus Branch breakfast buffet. Sounds pretty interesting. So, appreciate you checking in tonight. And we're at the bottom of the NetLogger check-ins, and I'm watching the live stream here, and we got a couple I'm going to give honorable mentions to. It looks like Marvin, N0MLP, and Dave, KE6GAE, are both watching on the live stream and unable to hit the machine tonight. So, and we also have W0GOD on the live stream. And until he gets moved, he's probably not going to be hitting our D-star machine anytime soon. So appreciate you guys on the live stream and look forward to when you can get checked in again. So we're down at the bottom of the list. This is AE0OC. Do I have any check-ins for the D-star net? All right, this could be a short net. Looking for check-ins for the OARS D-star net.
KE0LTG in Aurora. KE0LTG in Aurora.
Yeah, Lawrence, I got you. I just thumbed your call sign when I was putting it into the net logger. So you were coming in great the first time too. So go ahead with what you got for the net tonight.
Okay, Okay, are you hearing me okay? This is the DR mode. I was on the DV mode. I think I went to DR. Can you hear me okay now?
Absolutely, yeah. I've had a good copy on you all 3 times.
Well, that's great. It must be my night to have something working for a change. Let's see, I didn't do Chicago, but I did get an audio book from the library, The Last of the Breed, with Louis L'Amour. And of course, you mess with those Indians, you're in trouble. And so at the end, he had 2 scalps on his list, and he did one. He said he got 1 more to do. So you mess with Indians, you could be in trouble.
Yeah, that could be, yes. So, glad that you're enjoying reading a few books. I take it these are paper books and not audio books, correct?
Well, this was an audio book. I had the library get it, I guess, from Evergreen or somewhere they located it. And I guess it's got about 45 chapters, but it deals a lot more with the way Indians think and size up a situation. And apparently don't do too much prayer. They try to handle it their way. Of course, if they think spirits is around, they might invoke that. But anyway, I did get through that. I had read it about 15 years earlier, and I forgot so much of that Indian lore that's in it. And I've had a pretty good week. I rode the cycle of it today while it was warm, and guy bought my car today. We're trying to get it ready to go through the inspection. It's going to have that lens on the back adjusted or looked at, and the taillight that got broke. But all in all, I can't complain. A person did donate a lot of very nice clothes to me, and it was so unusual how absolutely well they fit. And so that doesn't happen often either. So I shouldn't complain too much. Things have went well this week, and hope some others out there have some happy thoughts for them.
Well, that's really spectacular about getting some free clothing. Clothing is expensive nowadays, and unfortunately, I'm kind of a unique size, so I don't ever get anything for free, that's for sure. But in any case, I do enjoy my audiobooks, though, and I see the appeal in them. They're really great. That's one of my go-to things is when I want to relax is to turn on an audiobook and just sit and listen. And I may play with other things on the computer or something. That's nice about that. That's what's nice about them is you can do more than one thing. Or you can work on an electronics project while you're listening to the book. I mean, it's just a nice way to spend an afternoon. So I appreciate you checking in tonight, Lawrence, and I guess we'll say 73 to you and see if there's anyone else out there. This is AE0OC. Do I have any further check-ins for the OARS D-star net? Any further check-ins for the OARS D-star net? All right, I'm going to throw it out one last time. Any further check-ins for the OARS D-star net?
KE0NHL.
Well, hello, Heather. KE0NHL. How are you tonight?
I'm actually doing okay. Only tried 4 times to get in this thing. Finally, somebody heard me. I don't know what the deal is. Tried it through the DR side. Didn't hear me. First 3 times didn't hear me. So I'm guessing fourth time is a charm here.
Well, I tell you what, I did notice that after Lawrence, that I called out and asked for check-ins, and I did not hear that courtesy beep at the end afterwards, like the machine was locked up. And what we think might be happening there is that if you're not letting it finish out the transmission and give that courtesy beep before somebody else keys up, that it's mixing the call signs, and so it just blanks out everybody. And it does that, and it stays that way for 30 seconds or so afterwards. All right, and that time I did not get the beep again, so let's see if it is this time.
Well, I was waiting for whatever the problem is to clear. One thing I have noticed is sometimes when I unkey on this repeater, there is no beep tone at all. Sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't. So I'm not real sure as to what actually causes that. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either, and I thought that maybe we kind of had a handle on it there, but I'm pretty sure that time that there wasn't anybody key up behind me and I didn't get the beep.
Yeah, I was just kind of wondering because without having that ending beep, it kind of makes me wonder if the transmission is actually going through or not. I know if something's going through the hotspot, sometimes in order to initialize it through the hotspot, you kind of have to key up a little bit and then start transmitting. So I don't know whether that has anything to do with it or whether it's unkeying too fast after the end of it. I am not real sure on that.
I don't know. It's going to take somebody with a little bit more knowledge about them than me to fix this thing. So, but it does seem to have some sort of slight issue that we need to get resolved. Hopefully, they will get it figured out fairly soon.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too, because maybe there's something different about it that it doesn't work the way it does on a normal repeater. I'm not real sure. Most of the time when somebody unkeys on just a regular analog repeater, you can come back shortly after that and you don't have any worries of it not going through unless you're out of range or something like that. But the message that you sent last night on 29 FM, I was reading that as 28, and that's why it was kind of making me wonder, well, I've got privileges in that because I've got privileges from 28.3 to 28.5.
No, on 10 meters, the FM is up 29 and up, and and the tech doesn't go up that high. So, but that's just another reason to get upgraded to general.
Yeah, when I went back and looked at that message, I thought, well, now that makes a little bit more sense, because when I first read it, I was reading it as like regular 10 meters. And then when you mentioned FM, I thought, well, that's kind of interesting, but usually 29, I think, is where the 10-meter repeaters are, if we had any repeaters in the area.
Yeah, the 10-meter repeaters will be on FM also, but Yeah, that was my first FM DX contact. That was kind of cool. So, and really, I can't think of anything spectacular that I've done on FM 10 meters, period. Like out of state or anything even. So, all in all, pretty cool.
Yeah, 10 meters has definitely been interesting. When I first got the radio hooked up and started getting stuff, I was getting contacts left and right on the DX side. And then I think it was kind of towards the end of last week, kind of starting last week sometime, that it just became really, really super horrible to have anything out there. I mean, the contacts were out there, but they weren't as clear as they had been prior. You'll hear signals, but then you'll hear them literally fade in and out. Or, I could have had a Japan station yesterday, but the moment I heard him, when he came in here, he came in loud and strong. And I tried coming back to him, and he was completely gone. I mean, there was nothing on 399.
Yeah, well, he may have just gotten off of there, too. It's hard to say. But in any case, appreciate you checking in tonight, Heather. And I'm going to go ahead and say 73 and see if we've got anybody else that wants to get in. So, you have a good one. And this is AE0OC. Do I have any further check-ins for the OARS D-star net? Any further check-ins for the OARS D-star net? All right, not hearing anybody. So appreciate everybody who did check in. Had a total of 5 check-ins, including myself. So pretty decent net. Had a lot of fun. And we'll do it all again next week. In the meantime, make sure you check in tomorrow night to the regular 2-meter net. I believe that Marvin is going to be up next for that one. So make sure you check in with him and give him a hard time, but get him over that 30. We're still trying to get 30 check-ins on the 2-meter net. That would be pretty awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a net and return the D-star machine to normal operations. This is AE0OC 73, everybody.